Welcome to another episode. Today, I'm joined by Alex Shevchenko, the co founder and CEO of Aurora Labs and Near Intense. Alex, thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks for inviting. Love to be here.
Alex, you've been at Near for the longest time, right? Why don't we start with a little bit of your background and your work at Near?
Yeah, I joined Near in 2020. Actually, I got exposed to Near in 2018, even before that, when my school friend Ilya has been pivoting his AI startup, Near AI, into blockchain. And he was doing the research on who's doing what. And already back then in 2019, I was already working on the infrastructure for the blockchains. And he saw the familiar name, and we got in touch. We got in touch, and and we were talking. And in 2020, when I became a free agent, I joined Near to take care of two things. The infra things, built a bridge in between Ethereum and Near, which later was called Rainbow Bridge. And the second part was, deliver the EVM on top of Near. And this project is later was called Aurora. And since then, I'm all in the Near ecosystem, building things here.
So you and Ilya were school friends. Ilya, for those who don't know, like is the founder, co-founder of Near. And like, how did that came about? Like you were school friends, and then like you said, he saw a familiar name and just called you to work on his project.
Yeah. Well, I gotta say that we were like friends, super friends. I was a little bit older, but I knew lots of people from Ilya's class. We have been always on the math Olympiads, computer science Olympiads, and stuff like that. So, yeah, so lots of connections there.
hmm And like the near ecosystem is so big today, right? Like I think there's AI products, there's intense product, there's like the chain, the bridge. There are so many verticals that near is has expanded into. So how do you see like near's role in crypto's ecosystem in general, right? And you've been there for such a long time, so I'm assuming there must be something special about the culture and like just the development spirit, right?
Yeah. So, um, my vision for Near is that Near is pretty good in building tech and building infrastructure. The Near scalability is unparalleled. Near delivers the proper way for scalability, which is the asynchronous scalability, which many people are referring to as sharding. And the sharding is working well. Near is extremely capable in terms of the amount of transactions and amount of compute that can be processed. And because of this, it can deliver very good performance. Besides that, it also delivers an unparalleled transaction finality, which delivers this feeling of responsiveness of the blockchain. It's like you're clicking a button and then the action is performed. It's not that you need to wait 10 minutes for the transaction to settle there. And then if you're working with somebody, then this person or organization is waiting for 6 more confirmations that take an additional hour for your action to land. And nearest finality time is 1.2 seconds with a target to getting it lower than half a second by the end of the year. This is extremely responsive for the global blockchains with the globally distributed validators. This is probably on the edge of what scientifically systems are able to deliver, just because it takes some time for light to travel from one side of the earth to the other side of the earth. Yeah. Now, taking into account the tech stack that is delivered on Near already, and the Intense is just like one, though pretty important piece of this stack. I do believe that Near is pretty well positioned in the chain abstraction narrative as a whole. Near, I would say, even started this when Aurora was delivered like 4 years ago. We started with free transactions with gasless experience. We always wanted to give the users a very nice way how to interact with the blockchain. On Near, there were also a little bit later delivered the thing that is called meta transactions, which is kind of the same gasless transactions. All of this was done way before the account abstraction, and way before the account abstraction was a word. And Near continuously is building this stack. including chain signatures, which allows near smart contracts to control accounts on other blockchains. And on top of this, we have the intents, the cross-chain protocol, the interop protocol, that allows for token transfers and performing much more complicated actions across the chains too. So I do believe that this is an extremely, from one side, lucrative situation when we're taking the capabilities of the Near protocol, scalability and finality, and also an ability for the accounts on Near to connect with other blockchains. I do believe that together, merging these two technologies, people can develop really seamless applications that are working on top of the blockchain technology, and they have the total addressable market of everybody in crypto. And this is what intents are becoming. Now, having said that, this chain abstraction is one direction that Near is going to, and this is something that I'm responsible for. That's why I'm cheering for it. That's a pretty straightforward thing. Um, but there is another, also a very, very important thing, which is the AI direction. And there are quite a lot of things that Near is innovating here. The two main ones are the confidential AI and also decentralized machine learning. So what confidential AI is bringing is an ability to offload uh, execution of the AI models, or it is also referred to as inference. So offload this inference to a third party without third party being able to steal the model weights. And this is a super relevant use case for everybody, for all of the companies that are building their own AI models, because they need to split their computational resources in two big buckets. One is to provide inference to the existing customers, and another one is to train new, better models. So when you don't, and they are forced right now by the market to keep it under one roof and not being able to move things out, and kind of make sure that they are controlling everything, and so they are not able to scale. However, there are tons of free GPUs that are not doing anything in the markets, right? There are lots of data centers that have GPUs, and people are just, these businesses are scared to move their models there. So this confidential AI is able to help them scale. That's one thing. And the second thing is decentralized machine learning. This is more on the research phase at the moment, but this is a very straightforward direction that allows also confidentially perform the machine learning tasks and training new models in a way that the operator of the hardware also are not able to take a look into this, and there can be many, many, many different operators. It's only the big companies who are able to build their own data centers, but this is connected with tons of problems around data centers, right? So, and the current status quo in the compute world is that, well, everybody are just getting AWS servers in the cloud, and then everything goes down.
And then someday it goes down and everything is not working.
Yeah, yeah. But the reason why this works is because this is convenient. I'm not an expert in building data centers, in connectivity, in whatever, fire retardant systems, all of that stuff. Like I just would like to outsource this to somebody. I want to use compute as utility. I want to plug into the compute socket and use it. This thing is not working for machine learning at the moment, and this is what decentralized machine learning is gonna change.
But so when you were describing Near, like there are obviously some features about it that makes it so special, right? Like fast finality and just the convenience for developers to build on it. What's your take on all the different chains that are available today? Like there's Solana, there's new chains coming up like Monad, Mega ETH. All of them have this fast speed quality, right? Like the UX should be snappy.
Yeah.
So in that ecosystem, how does a chain like Near actually differentiate itself? Because it feels like the infra is like the scale and the level is just going up, right? Like with Ethereum, we were used to a certain standard, and then Solana took things up to another level, and then the L2s with base and everyone, they took it to another level, and now there's a new breed of chains coming in. So how do you like see all of these chains sort of like fitting in into this ecosystem, and then at the same time near having its place as well?
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. So since I'm working in this chain abstraction and interop domain, I do believe that the chains should not fight each other, but
Mhm.
rather we have our competitors outside of the blockchain world, right? The centralized systems that are controlling and custodying all of the user funds and the governance rights and identity, all of that stuff. This is the thing that we are trying to all fight against. We have different opinions about how the technology should be built, but in general, kind of Tolly and Keone from Monad are much bigger friends of me than whoever is sitting in the SEC, right? So
Yeah.
I want to make it clear, right? Now, in terms of the differentiation, uh, so Monad, Mega ETH, and Solana are the systems that are built clearly on the synchronous setup. Um, and um, there are quite a lot room to optimize for these things. Many things can be done in a parallelized environment on a single machine. But in general, I do believe that uh, the status quo in the world, how the world operates, is that um, against the thinking of 1980s when people were saying that, oh yeah, we're going to have mainframes, and then the compute is going to happen in these mainframes, and then maybe there will be like thin clients so that people are connecting to these mainframes, and then everybody are going to be okay with this. um, so the world is not in this state. And I do believe that it is super important to embrace the fact that the compute itself is extremely decentralized. This is the reason why Google has won or like is a major company, because they said, okay, we're not going to build any mainframes. We're just going to build tons of very simple servers and then connect them with each other. And I do believe that the world has educated us into this state where the more asynchronous operations are much more scalable. Now, for some of the applications, the more centralized compute is acceptable, right? So New York Stock Exchange is working on a single computer, right? And yeah, there are additional systems around it, blah blah blah, all of this stuff. But that's one of the reasons why the land is so expensive next to this computer. Everybody wants to be as collocated with it, right? Um, so for some of the use cases, the more synchronous and centralized systems it is okay. Uh, but I'm an idealist. I would like to live in the world where all of the computers is happening on the blockchain, just because it is a decentralized and trustless layer. And I feel less of a control. I would like to be in control of my own destiny and my own life. So I want all of the compute to happen on the blockchain. And if we want to transfer all of the compute of the world into the blockchain, well, then definitely we need to have this async approach. This is what separates Near from these projects. There are other notable projects that are moving in the sharded space, including Ton, including multiple others. And I do believe that blockchain deserves to tackle the scalability problem. I admire the like everything that all of the projects are doing, and Solana and Monad are showing exceptional scalability. Uh, also, I'm just more on the asynchronous side because it feels to me that we need to tackle so many different problems. And though the financial use cases are the core of the blockchain right now, uh, we are going to see much more of the use cases following on. I really would love to see before my death the proper democratic elections happening on the blockchain.
Mhm.
This was one of the first ideas that brought me in space in 2015.
And I mean, so you're obviously going in the chain abstraction side, right? Where the infra has its place, like as the backend, but the users don't necessarily need to know about the backend, right? And Near Intense is also a project that's sort of enabling this chain abstraction vision for Near. So and you guys have already done 2.5 billion in swap volume, so it's already gaining traction as well. But why don't we go into Near Intense? Like, how is it designed and what's unique about it?
Yeah. So the word intense currently is used for many different things in the blockchain. The way how I'm thinking of it is a little bit wider than just the DeFi application. Oh, so the DeFi people are thinking about intense is that, well, that is the way how to build the protocols where the user is saying to some kind of service that I want this to happen, and then the service is trying to orchestrate in between the different providers this desired outcome. So the user is not specifying the way how he wants to swap things. And I'm thinking of this in a generic way. So this user intent or this user's desire may reflect not only his financial desires, but maybe the need for transportation or the need to learn Chinese language in 5 years or something else. And if you would think a little bit about this stuff, and then you would understand that this is exactly the way how we are communicating with the world. There are two modes. First one, we need something from the world, and then we're trying to figure out how to get it. Usually, if I need to find some information, I'm going to Google. If I want to get a little bit of more of analysis, I'm going to AI. At the moment, if I want to get like a custom buckle for a leather bag that I'm doing, I'm probably going to Etsy and trying to find something there because Google is not going to help me to do this. So we have all of these different tools. And we're trying to get this intense. There is another mode of operations when I'm saying to the world, hey, just give me some information. I don't want anything right now. Just feed in me. And then you scroll. You scroll TikTok, you scroll Twitter, you scroll YouTube, you scroll all of that stuff. Yeah, these are like literally two modes of operation. So on the intent side, if we're talking about near intents, at the moment, the first use case that is implemented with the near intents protocol is the cross-chain swapping. Uh, this is if I'm talking only about the near intents itself. So this is clearly a financial use case. It allows users to move liquidity from one side to from one chain to another. The way how it works is that the user uh, states his intent to perform the swap, and then there are many market makers that are connected to the system, and they are able to supply this the desired outcome. The transactions are settled on the near protocol, so the actual settlement of a trade is happening on the smart contract in a fully decentralized fashion. The smart contract is controlling that the market makers are not fooling the user, and they are controlling that they are signed, that they have enough assets to spend. The user, all of the participants are controlled on this matter. So this is the best and the most decentralized version for the settlements that is used there. There is a centralized service that we call the message bus that
Mhm.
works on the side. The protocol works without it, but this decentralized service gives a little bit of convenience. Usually, when people are willing to swap, they don't know what is the exact price right now. So instead of them, just sending random price and hoping that somebody is going to settle this intent, what they're doing, they are pre-calling the service helps them to get in touch with the market makers and check what is the current price
Mhm.
at the
So,
moment.
so they're basically getting a quote from the market makers through
Exactly, yeah.
this.
So this is called the request for quote kind of service,
Mhm.
and then through the service, the front end where the user is interacting with near intent is able to show the price, and this is more convenient. And then the user can say, okay, it's a little bit low, or so that I'm not going to do the trade, or it's
Mhm.
okay, and then the user just
But
goes
like
forward.
the centralization in the request for code doesn't really affect things that much, right?
Yes, exactly. There is no custody. This service is not responsible for settlement and anything.
Mm.
However, because of this centralization, this is also a very important thing for us to mention. For me to mention, I do not want to build the system that is going to help North Koreans to launder money. I do not think that they are good guys, or like it's not all of the North Koreans, but the guys who are stealing users' money.
Yeah.
It's not about North Koreans. It's about the hackers, black liquidity, all of this stuff. I don't want to help them. So the centralized service has its own checks, the KYT checks. We're working with the biggest investigation agencies, with the AML departments of the largest exchanges. We exchange the data and we are tracking the stolen funds. So for these funds, the RFQ service is not going to return quotes. Can people deposit money and, for example, trade peer to peer? Well, this is possible because that's how decentralized systems are working. The same way they are able to go to Uniswap and trade with a smart contract, right? So that's a very straightforward.
But that's still a good way to kind of block the North Korean hackers, or like any hacker for that matter, just to not be able
Absolutely.
to access the service, right?
Absolutely, we are trying to be as compliant as possible with the current state of technology. We are always happy to work with all of the investigators and help them to collect all of the information. Though the
Mhm.
information is already public, and people are able, in the majority of the cases, they are able to trace the flow of funds. But we are always happy to help everybody.
And so when you explained like the vision for near intents, you explained it as a more generalized protocol, right? Like
Correct.
it can actually serve a lot more use cases, and like it makes sense with Near's vision in general. Like you're working in AI, you have different product lines as well. But
Hmm.
today it's starting with the cross chain swap functionality, right? So
Yeah.
why did you guys decide to start with cross chain swaps? Because that's also where a lot of the other protocols in the market are serving today. So it's not like there's a specific need for that market, but it's a good place to start because there is order flow.
Yeah, well, the market clearly, as you said, we already settled 2.5 billion.
Mhm.
The market shows that there is a need,
Yeah.
so,
I
so
mean,
this is good.
by need, I mean like there is already established protocols, and there can
Sure,
always be more, right?
sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So 1 year ago, when I was looking at the landscape, I've seen Thor chain that is settling hundreds of million per day, and now their market share has been eaten down to 10, uh, included by many others, but including ourselves. So yeah, there is always a change, and the market tries to get to the most efficient way of operations. And
Mm.
Thorchain, since it is based on the UniV2 style pools, they are not as capital efficient. That's why they are not able to compete on the prices. Now, um, we started with this use case just because it is simpler. If you would think of the user intent and how it should settle, then there is an intent, then there is a search for the organizations or actors who are going to fulfill this intent. There should be a settlement that is happening around this. So there should be like a payment or something that is connected with it. And then there should be dispute, or there should be some kind of engine that checks that the service or goods were delivered in proper, and then there is the settlement is triggered, and in case it is not happening that way, then there is like a dispute process. So for this last bit, the cross-chain swapping is a very good one, because this whole piece can be put inside of a smart contract, inside of our settlement smart contract that we wrote. So the check here that the goods were delivered properly is that, yeah, this user has at least these tokens that were transferred to his balance, and the market maker or market makers have that amount of the other token that is transferred to their balance. So this check can be done automatically by the smart contract, and so we don't need to think about, okay, there needs to be some arbitrage bot, or AI agent that is going to check this, and then there is an escalation policies to bring human in the loop and stuff like that. So this part is simplified. But already at the moment, there are multiple projects who are building their use cases on top of near
Hmm.
intents. And though initially we can think of, yeah, it's just a cross-chain swap and thin, but I'm wearing right now the T-shirt of Calyx, and this is the cross-chain launchpad that is built by
Nice.
Aurora. And what it allows people to do is to launch tokens on any chain and accept participants from any other chain, and liquidity from any other chain. And obviously, it is built on top of the cross-chain swap and thing, but the model has proven itself extremely valuable for all of the ecosystems, because this is a chance for these ecosystems to bring in liquidity directly into them.
Hmm.
During the first sale of Calyx, people from 11 ecosystems participated. This was, to my knowledge, the first kind of token sale in which there are so many ecosystems who were participating in, which is great because this is the unification of the blockchains, and we're helping people not to think about the kind of the back end, the infrastructure. There are other projects. There are people who are building prediction market. There is an NFT marketplace that is built also cross chain, which is called Hotcraft, and the guys there again kind of more focusing on the creators and people who are looking into the digital collectibles, and it's also pretty straightforward. Uh, if I'm taking my card and I'm going anywhere in the world on a crypto conference and I'm able to go and buy coffee, it means that there is a good user experience that is delivered to me, and I'm not thinking about acquirers, about different banking systems with different standards, blah blah blah, different currencies that are there that I need to use to pay for my coffee. Everything is settled. Somebody is earning some money, but I'm okay. I'm just using this and I'm working. Why on earth the user experience on blockchain should be different? It should be abstracted away absolutely the same way how it is abstracted with the Web2 solutions, and this is what we're striving for.
Mhm. I mean, so when people think about intents, at least in like the swapping and cross-chain swap context, we think of the middleman or like the solver as a market maker, right? Like somebody
Yeah,
either fronts money in a cross-chain swap context or like solves in a same chain swap context, right? But when you actually take this intense model and apply it to different use cases, like you said, in a card payment method, right? So the function of the solver also changes, right?
exactly.
Uh,
Yeah. So
but
I
how,
don't like the solver, the word
okay.
solver, because it comes from like in old times when probably cow swap was first introduced, and then
Yeah.
they were introducing their solvers, and the idea was there that there are these entities who do not possess any liquidity,
Hmm.
and the only thing what they are doing, they are monitoring the blockchain and
Yeah, they're
trying
like
to find
solving
the
some complex logic.
exactly. They're solving some complicated problem of how to most efficiently route user swaps,
Yeah.
which is not kind of the thing here, especially for the cross chain. Like you cannot do this. Like there
Mhm.
is like the solver now needs to become a an entity who possesses liquidity on
I
different
mean,
chains in order to
honestly,
provide.
the way I like to describe this like middleman is an agent because it can
Yeah,
be agent can be like described in any format, right? So like if it's in a instant payment sort of like a context, you can still use the word agent, and then
yeah.
yeah, like it doesn't have to be a cross chain swap anymore.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah. So I'm thinking of this as, yeah, like an agent, or in terms of the cross-chain swaps, is a market maker. Like this, the logic of the or like the service of these entities, absolutely the same as the market makers on centralized exchanges. But in general, yeah, agent is a good word. Yeah, this is a counterparty that gives you the solution, or maybe there can be multiple counterparties. If I would like, for example, um, to to get some food to my grandma's home, then somebody needs to prepare it, and then somebody needs to deliver it, right? So I'm gonna have two counterparties here.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, there are also like other solutions in the market already, right? So all of them have their own routes, I would say, that they specialize in because they have more liquidity, more agents or solvers in those routes. What is that sort of area for near intents? And I've seen a lot of buzz around privacy in the ecosystem and Zcash as well, and that seems to be the area where you guys have dominated a lot, like Solana to Zcash to get into like their native token.
Yeah. So I think that our specialty here is our ability to connect ecosystems pretty quick,
Hmm.
connect chains very quickly. And the reason behind it is that we don't need to build smart contracts or complicated logic on these third-party blockchains.
Hmm.
The settlement logic is on near, it is already there. The bridging logic, or like the deposit withdrawal mechanisms, this is something that can be built and can be built through the RPCs, so like wormhole style thing. This is, again, something that can be done pretty quickly. And for the blockchains that where we are striving for even better decentralization, then we need to implement a solution that is very aligned with the Rainbow Bridge, with a light clients of the respective blockchains that are running directly on near chain, so we are able to verify these things. So um, so this is our specialty. And because of this, we are able to connect ecosystems like Zcash, Cardano, Stellar. Do you know any other solutions that are working with Stellar or Cardano at the moment?
No, not right now.
Yeah. So we are able to do this, and this is, and I do believe that, like, obviously Ethereum guys are saying, yeah, Ethereum, 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 blah blah blah, all of the stuff. But just take a look at Cardano. Cardano's trading volume on centralized venues is 95% plus is
Hmm.
Cardano to stablecoin, and there are no stablecoin. There is no USDT or USDC on Cardano, right? Which means that this trading volume is in fact cross-chain trading volume. There are approximately 2 billion US dollars trading volume per day of ADA into a stablecoin which is a cross-chain trading volume.
Hmm.
So
Because there's no stable coin on Cardano, so like
exactly,
these,
you cannot fade this. You
yeah.
cannot fade this. Like this is the market that is out there. You cannot say that, yeah, L2s, blah blah blah. This is the only thing that matter, and this is what some of the intent protocols are focusing on, just connecting EVM chains. Well, there is
Hmm.
only one from that standpoint. There is only one EVM chain that matter, but then the number two is Cardano, and not other L2s, right? So I understand that this is complicated because nobody wants to develop smart contracts on Cardano, especially if they are already onboarded into the EVM ecosystem for a very, very long time. But this is not the reason not to serve these markets. This is not the like. This is a wrong motivation. Instead of kind of sticking to the whatever infrastructure that you have already, and that's it. The better way is to look to the market holistically and make your decisions based on the market demand. The world is clearly showing to us very consistently that Cardano and other token is something that people are interested in. That's it. Like, if you will be able to provide to them a decentralized swap and solution for it, to get an alternative in comparison with the centralized solutions, well, then it it is a good thing to do, and most probably you're going to attract some volume there.
Hmm. I mean, just to simplify it for myself, so because of Near's architecture, you're able to, there's basically no technical limitation for you guys to actually add new chains. And because of that, you're able to look at the market in a very rational way where you see the market, and irrespective of like the blockchain or the asset itself, you go after the market, right? Like you go after
Correct.
serving that market. Whereas
Yes.
other players have technical limitations in a way where they can support certain virtual machines. Like even if you look at Solana, for example, most intent-based bridges only added Solana very recently because it just takes time to actually support those smart contracts and like be able to add that chain. Whereas
Yeah.
you guys don't have that limitation.
Exactly, yeah. Solana was added into near intents almost instantly, like pretty straightforward. This is a very straightforward market. Yeah, and with Zcash, we are actually in touch with Zcash team for a very, very long time. So
Mhm.
like approximately a year. Uh, uh, way before the craziness of the last 30 days that is happening with with Zcash. And this was always a team that was extremely focused on privacy and like all things privacy. For example, when we were working with Zashi team on near and dense integration, they have been not releasing the solution into the market before integrating with Tor network in order to make sure that the user cannot be tracked through interacting with the particular API. So this is a type of a feature that an ordinary product person would say, like, this is for sure super extra, 3 asterisks, only for a small
But
amount of users.
the normal user doesn't need it.
Yeah, but they are extremely focused on this privacy sentiment, and they have always been. So we have been working with them. They are super engaged. They are willing to support. They are willing to make a difference because of their convictions. And it was very easy to work with them. And lots of respect to all of the different organizations that we have been working with in the Zcash ecosystem. And I'm super happy that they are getting these market action from them. And I think that I'm gonna like cite Mert here. I think that uh, what we have seen with Zcash, and take into account that there is like some Solana folks coming in, and then Near and Dense is powering all of this movement of the capital across like into Zcash and outside.
Mhm.
I think we're having here an example of non-zero sum game. Like many people are thinking that yeah, liquidity is moving from one chain to another, so one is the loser, another one is the winner. In this case, I do not feel that that's the case. Like everybody have been working on their own stuff. We have been working on the cross-chain interop.
Mhm.
We have been powering this, and there is some value in this stuff, and some portion of Zcash's success is based on this, and we are happy about this, right? So,
I
yeah,
think there was a quote tweet by you on one of the tweets where you said you're basically solving the access problem, right? Like there is demand for Zcash, which is derived from like the Zcash team's efforts over the years, and then now there's a market on Solana, which is derived for like whatever reason. Solana is a great place for like capital formation, and then Near Intense is basically now solving that access problem. Like if somebody wants to access that market on Solana, you can use Near Intense. So I think
yeah,
that was a good way to phrase that whole combination of like
exactly, yeah.
non-zero sum.
Ilya is putting this down as a unstoppable liquidity layer or
Mhm.
universal liquidity layer. Uh, yeah, I think the blockchain really needs to have this. There are, from my point of view, like three, and I like for a very long time, I'm an advocate for a good user experience. So I think that there are three main problems with crypto. First one is that accounts are scattered, right? So I have my Phantom wallet for my Solana stuff. I have my ledger for some big things, but not everything I'm able to access there also. So I have like another different wallets, right? So that's one thing. So accounts it need to be uniformed, right?
Mhm.
I want to have a
Like
Google
you
account
don't
where
want
I
to
have.
have 20 accounts for 20 different tasks, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. And then, yeah. And then that's the first thing. Second thing is that in the majority of the cases, the things are um, mm, extremely non-responsive.
Mhm.
So it takes time to settle transactions. It takes time for transactions to get finalized. It takes time for me to see that the action was actually performed in the explorers and stuff like that. So there is the whole indexing problem.
Mhm.
Uh, and if I want to actually move things from from one chain to another chain, the problem is multiplied by 100.
Yeah.
So the lack of responsiveness is a extremely bad thing, and because of this, the Web2 user experience is much better than that. Like you
Mhm.
click and you get the result. Um, just just remember the last time when you use your web banking app and like you do the transfer and then it's it's kind of like done. Like you see that, yeah, it's done. You don't think about it. Yeah, maybe it takes some time, to settle, blah blah blah, but you are not thinking about it. And then there is a third thing, which is low-level complexities of blockchains that are exposed to users. Users, I want to have USDT on Tron. It's just because there are so many people who are accepting Tron USDT.
Yeah.
But if I want to transact, now I need to have also TRX token. I don't know what is the transaction price. Like how can I comprehend this? I need to have two things to pay for it. This is very complicated. Or like in Bitcoin, I put out the transaction, or in Ethereum put out the transaction, but then the transaction, the gas price that I was using is too low. It's not mining for a long
Yeah,
period
I
of
mean,
time.
we,
I
we
need to
just
change the
accept
nodes.
these things, right? Like they're just the details of using the blockchain, but like the normal user beyond like the current bubble of crypto Twitter will probably not accept these trade-offs.
Exactly. So like these three things: scattered accounts, non-responsiveness of blockchain, and the these low-level complexities that are thrown in the user face. These things are the ones to be tackled, and
Mhm.
once there is a proper product that tackles all of this and delivers a great user experience, then this product can be a very good way into crypto for all of the people.
I'm
Somebody
getting
can say that this product is Binance
okay.
or Coinbase or
Yeah,
other big exchanges,
but they're
and
still
I would
centralized.
agree with it, right? So that's a natural thing. But yeah, I would like to have a decentralized and non-custodial alternative to this. And then the users will have these several options, right? That okay, more custody setup, which is, I'm not saying that it is bad. In some cases, it's actually good. Like if people they don't know how to properly do non-custodial things. They are not very onboarded into this culture and things like that. So they would like to offset the custody risks to somebody else. But there are other people who are aware of this and they are willing to be more in control of their things. They are less trusting third parties holding their assets because of some reasons. Maybe they have been burned on FTX. Who knows? And then there is just an alternative in the market.
And is that your vision for near intense? Like basically building a protocol that can actually serve on all the three things that you just mentioned?
Yes,
That's simple.
yes,
Awesome. I also want to talk about X402 standard because that's the thing that everyone on the timeline is talking about right now. And you had one of your tweets which said like AI agents basically need near intents and like intent based payments to be able to access the web. So maybe why don't we talk about that? Like why do AI agents actually need on-chain rails like crypto rails, and then how does near intents and intents in general sort of fit into that sort of a framework?
yeah. So I do believe that if you will look attentively to what is happening in the AI space at the moment, you will see that somehow kind of financial use cases are like starting to kind of move forward with AI. OpenAI announced in their interaction with Stripe,
The
and then they are
commerce.
going to build, yeah, they're going to build the commerce layer for their agents within the newly released agent kit. And then there are more partnerships. The Tether and Circle are building their own blockchains. PayPal is building their own stablecoin, right?
Yeah.
There are many different things. And in general, the motion around the Genius Act and stablecoins appreciate kind of like proper regulations around this stuff. Europe is also moving forward with Mika and other regulations. So there is a movement there. Now, what is clear is that there will be some things that can be handled by the AI and the AI agents, A- and uh, um, I'm pretty sure that many of us are using AI in their day-to-day work. Um, and there are two alternatives for AI agents to how to handle the payments, because usually the intents, if I want something to be done, then I need to pay for it. I want a great means of transportation. One, then I need to pay to Audi. If I want to get some food, then I probably need to pay to whatever Uber Eats, so that it can find me some good food. Now, um, uh, so the payment. So like with intent, with settling these needs, there needs to be a payment, and there are two options for AI agents. First one is to use existing traditional financial rails, or to try to use a crypto.
Mhm.
Traditional financial rails are pretty good because they are very well known. The governments know how to work with it. However, the whole system was built for humans. And there will be tons of problems with there is no identity around AI agents. What are the legal implications of AI agents acting as companies or as humans, right? Or like what to do this? Is this okay to allow your ChatGPT Atlas to go into your Revolut web interface and perform some actions there?
Probably
There
not.
are restrictions at the moment, but then like how to do if it hallucinates and transfers money to the North Korean hackers to fund the development of the new ICBM, like that's probably not that pretty cool, right? But it is not you who's doing it; it's your agent, right? There are tons of legal questions around this stuff. However, the system is well known, and there is another option, the crypto rails, where the AI agent just need to have a private key, and in the majority of cases, they have some form of identity in like with the private key with the public key infrastructure, and that's it. Then they just can transfer stuff. And uh, uh, blockchain payment rails is much better than the traditional ones, just because they are cross-border, extremely fast settlement times in comparison with days that it takes the Swift transfer to land. Much better capital efficiency and stuff like that. So there is a chance that crypto and blockchain can fight for these default payment rails for the AI economy. And I think that we should do this, right? There are other problems here, that there are no lots of old money that are trying
Yeah.
to protect itself and its traditional financial rails from this disruption. However, we do have the more advanced technology. So, from
Mhm.
my point of view, the crypto itself, it should move forward and try to defend this case for being a default payment rails infrastructure for the AI agents, because autonomous AI economy is something that is going to, from my point of view, be big.
Mhm.
We are going to pass these times of stupid subscription models and going to transfer into the AI agents that are going to optimize everything, all of the fees for everybody, and they are going to find the most optimal routes, the lowest fees. Everything is going to transition into microtransactions, because scalable blockchains are able to withstand microtransactions, right? And then it's just going to work. It's going to be much more efficient for all of the participants, and this will be a better state of the world.
I
So,
mean,
yeah.
there is absolutely no doubt that crypto is better money technology, right? Like it's just about the integration and adoption of crypto at different uh, levels in the world, right? Like if the merchants start accepting stable coins and like crypto assets, then there's basically no stopping AI agents or humans from like interacting with crypto in like their daily lives.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I can tell you that the more and more, the more looking at the older I'm getting, the more people around I see who are very, very interested in crypto. Not only because of the that's a magic internet money that can give you lots of money and you
Yeah.
can earn, but also because it's just a very convenient means for doing the payments. For example, right now, for if I need to transfer some money to people more or less crypto savvy, or that,
Mhm.
that they're able to do, I'm just giving them what we call gifts in near intents. Is a simple thing. You're able to create in your account a link like a link
Nice.
drop, right, within any cryptocurrency, and then the user is able to get it and instantly exchange it into whatever he wants to get and move it to the blockchain, whatever blockchain he wants to get into. Maybe into his Binance account because he wants to, just do the fiat payment out. But soon this also going to be changed, and fiat is coming to near and dense.
I mean, I have to ask you this, like any interesting AI agents that you're looking at for the X402 use case?
Yeah. So X402, from my point of view, is a nice blockchain agnostic
Yeah.
standard that is proposed. Whether this standard is going to be used or not, I don't know. So let's see how things are going to go there. I do believe that there is no need to, like, the blockchain technology is in a pretty good state that we don't need to think about payment channels, and everything can be actually instantly, like very quickly settled on chain. So there is no need to do this. Yeah. Now, in terms of the AI agents, interesting things that from my point of view are already shaping the things at the moment. These agents are mostly outside of the crypto space. The agents that are able to scrap the internet, fill out the BD pipeline. There are some very good use cases for the personal assistants. For some of the companies are doing pretty good job in terms of the like first level of support with the AI bots, but usually it's pretty scrappy, so not very good. But these things are going to get better over time. I'm really looking forward, and this is something that Aurora is building. I'm really looking forward into the kind of like a yield optimizer that is married with AI. So yeah, there are like yield aggregators and stuff like that. But the true unlock, from my point of view, would be the agents, the autonomous agents that are tracking the portfolio performance, rebalancing the portfolio, or noticing the situations when, for example, the user is very close to the liquidation, and then there is a repayment of the loan, like partial repayment of the loan, and they are trying to get to this point when the users are not getting liquidated because liquidations are costly and users are losing money during the liquidations. So, in humans are humans. They are not able to 24/7 monitor the state of their portfolios and their strategies because they need to sleep. They need to
Yeah.
spend some time with their families. So having the automated agents that are taking care of this, who are able to understand and analyze complicated market dynamics, this is something that I really, really looking forward. And I think that having these tools available permissionlessly in a non-custodial way for all of the humans on Earth, these things are gonna make us as humans more knowledgeable about
Mhm.
finance. And this is a good way how to do like a proper financial education for everybody, and it can bring lots of value for everybody, for people who are losing money, as as sailors say, the people whom we have a name for, which
Yeah.
we call poor, right? So help them to become a little bit more finance savvy, and and also, besides, and I think that this is a win-win because these people are going to bring new liquidity, more money into the crypto ecosystem, which will make markets even more efficient, which
Mhm.
will make prices even more efficient, and so on.
Yeah, I mean the theory checks out. Now it's just about like actually building the right tools and getting the right integrations in place, which of course like takes time because adoption just happens when it does happen, right? And
Yeah,
it
exactly.
takes literally decades for things to move.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I think crypto has been proven the whole financial use case. I would say there were lots of additional use cases that crypto was trying to investigate and see whether there is a market fit for it. Supply chains, this failed clearly. But financial use case is something that is definitely here to stay, and there are lots of appreciation for kind of blockchain power in the financial use cases. So yeah, let's utilize this to the full extent and deliver good user experience to everybody.
Yep. Awesome. Thanks a lot, Alex, for your time. Last question. What's next for near intense? Like, what are you looking for as the biggest milestones in the next 6 to 12 months?
Okay, 6 to 12 months. This is a long period. This is like a long term, right? um, yeah. So we are implementing quite a lot of smaller features on the engineering side that are going to make the cross chain swapping much more efficient, and everybody should expect that over time we're going to deliver more and more better and better capital efficiency and better prices for everybody. Through near intents already right now, you can move hundreds of thousands up to $1 million cross chains and stable coins with extremely low fees below $1. And this is only the beginning. It is going to become even better and better. So yeah, there are lots of low level, smaller features, which are going to influence the user experience even better. We are working on rebuilding the main front end for Intents, which is currently located at near-intents.org. It is going to deliver much better user experience, exactly the things that I have been talking about.
Mhm.
Um, and we're also working on new use cases for Intents, which include AI agent use cases, as well as additional financial use cases around yield optimizations, and many, many, many more things. So follow us, follow the development. You're going to see quite a lot of news kind of coming out even this year, and clearly much more things to follow next year.
Amazing. Thanks a lot for your time. And there's a lot coming on for near intense and near in generals, and we're all super excited for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Arjun, for having me.